start again. Make another kid.
In alternate reality, Mark is nothing more than an intrusive thought within the original Mark's mind. The term multidimensional encompasses his subconscious thought where Mark's alternate identity or alter ego resides, which fulfills a more suppressed desire in a distant reality. This alter ego can be considered his negative or evil self in a world that mirrors his own. Our Mark is currently going through a social identity crisis that puts him on the horns of a dilemma. His alternate state was shaped by his dad's vision in the likeness of a Viltrumite conqueror. Mark is caught between the two beliefs, two worlds, as they highlight the concept of duality branching off into his own split identity. What type of savior should Mark become? Should he become a savior for humanity? Or should he become the thing that he fears the most? Mark, in the present day as a Viltrumite, wants to prove he is not a threat to humans, superheroes, and Cecil, who is the director of the free world. Currently, Mark presents himself as a sacrificial lamb, willing to do almost everything to prove he will not follow in his father's footsteps. Mark is looked upon as a god amongst men, which alienates him from all humane factions of society. Mark doesn't sit at the table, as he is relegated by Cecil to continue to take leave and fulfill an ordinary human lifestyle. He reflects on the weight of distrust, and he wants to make peace with himself and others, with no regard for his state of being. Cecil presents his own notion of allegiance, which is a mere illusion of trust, wanting to manipulate Mark's desperation against him by means of coercion, to perform his end goals in opposition to Mark's ideal sense of justice. Cecil said the same thing Omni said, creating a mirrored justification between the two. Mark's alternate self parallels Nolan, suggesting Mark was the reason why their fight took countless lives and created destruction around the world. Thus, the cataclysmic battle commenced between opposing ideologies. Both Cecil and Omni-Man coerces scenarios where they can guilt their victims for their own demise. This "you're either with us or against us" sentiment is echoed through alternate Mark when he promotes more resistance against enforced policy, results in more deaths. Cecil understands how concerned Mark is in regard to his own mystified sense of allegiance. Mark's sense of guilt is used by Cecil as an unapologetic retribution for what his father caused in order to gain the trust of operating within the jurisdiction of humankind. Cecil claimed that Omni-Man fooled everyone, and this known level of manipulation among Viltrumites provides the assurance that they either follow strict orders or be dealt with if they divulge from his goals. When Mark is under the guise of Cecil's and Omni-Man's mentorship, there are two contrasting scenes that resulted in Mark questioning himself and what he stands for. In Mark's conscience, the death of Angstrom and the Mahler twins is undeserved. He looks at the blood on his hands as the same traumatizing trigger he had with his fight with his father. Mark learns his first lesson as a savior for the greater good in the blood of innocent lives. This common phrase, greater good, is also repeated by Angstrom Levy to Mark just before chaos ensues. After he takes off his helmet, while Levy saves Mark physically, he was not able to save him mentally. Phrases like "it was their fault" triggers an emotion from Mark, creating a disassociation to make him look at Levy and Cecil no different than his father, justifying once again, Omni-Man was right. These traumatic memories ideologically pits him against archetypal figures that reminds Mark of his father, to create even more chaos. It's this invincible chaotic order paradigm that involves into multitudes of motives and identities towards the quest to establish judgment over who's good or evil. The show Invincible is filled with many different parallels that I will be delving into further. I will be doing deep psychological breakdowns during the release of all the episodes, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to follow up on some of the most unique takes on character analysis and critiques on the show. Thanks for watching.
How could you do this?
That was your fault. Your stubbornness against the inevitable killed those people.